Well, we're back for another week. We are actually back in Huntsville this week at Monte Sano Mountain. We're up at the park. It's a little chilly.
Yeah, this southern girl ain't liking this.
It's actually quite perfect. You get out in the sun. It feels amazing.
Sun is great.
Leaves starting to
Shade,
fall,
not
a little
so
bit
much.
of color.
Yeah.
So
it's
we
really
just
looking so pretty up here.
a little bit. We haven't had any rain, so I'm not sure we're gonna have a lot of
I don't think
color
it's gonna
this
last.
year. Yeah.
I think it's
No.
just gonna turn and fall.
No, I think they're just dying.
Just typical of southern falls. Yep. Our clients want to shoot in those pretty colors, and then we get our camera out, and they all fall off the tree.
Yeah.
So it's great. Yep. So.
Yeah, we are another week down
Yep. Oh my gosh.
with the Creator Series. There's one episode left, Monday night.
Exciting.
So this last week, the challenge was gels, and hopefully you've watched it. If you haven't,
What are you doing here? We keep asking that.
my girls made it to the end.
Woohoo!
So Bethany and Jess
Yep.
will face off Monday night to see who wins.
Exciting.
So I
So
can't,
cool.
yeah, I can't wait to watch
Yeah.
and see how they do. But gels,
Gels
I
are
would
hard. Let's just start with that. It's very difficult
yes,
to hone in, and sometimes it's very difficult, even when you have something in your head, to actually make it happen.
Well,
the way you have
and-
it in your head.
and honestly, I would have been shocked if gels had not been one of the challenges.
Yeah, especially this close to the end, for sure.
But then I think a little bit surprised because so many of the contestants had used gels already.
I know.
But I guess the interesting thing about that was because so many had already used gels when it got to the gel challenge, I think
Already comfortable. Yeah.
well, no,
You
I think it
think?
might have been, I think the challenge was that to try to come up with something that hadn't already been done. I mean, not
Makes
that you
sense.
can't do that, but again, the venue was very small. And so by the time you get to those last challenges, a lot of what was around in that venue had already been used. And again, a lot of people had used gel. So I think,
That makes sense.
I think
yeah.
part of the challenge, if I had still been there, would have been, okay, how can I use gels in a way that hasn't already been used?
That was going to be my exact question for you today.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
would have been part of it. And we've had Cash Invader with us today, and I got one eating a stick down here. So yeah, I think here's the thing about gels. I'm trying to find.
There's a word.
There's a word. There's a word stuck
It's
in
going
there.
over.
We've got people everywhere. It's a little bit
It's a little
distracting.
distracting up here, we didn't realize, but oh well.
So gels is one of those things that you can use it as a creative tool, obviously. I see images where gels have been used and like very well. I
Yeah, I
see
know where you're going here.
a lot of
Yeah.
images where gels have been used that they're not done well.
I think sometimes when that happens, it's because they just want to use them so bad that it's just, let's throw a gel
Let's
on
throw a
it.
gel in
But
there.
that doesn't accomplish the purpose of maybe telling the story of whatever it is you're doing. If there is a story, if there's not a story, does it make sense?
Exactly.
That's
what
where I go. Like if
Right.
really honestly, there have been just a very few times that I've ever used gels. You want to use them? Halloween. Be looking for that. That's coming soon. So I'll be using some gels for Halloween, and obviously there's other times to use
Yeah.
it, not just that. But for me, I'm more of what I call a reality shooter.
Right.
I want to shoot things that are real. If we're in this kind of situation, the outfit needs to make sense.
Right.
The hair, the makeup, everything needs to make sense.
Right.
It doesn't need to be that we have just some kind of crazy something or another on top of a picnic table in the park and just throw a gel on it. That
Right.
just makes no sense.
Right.
So I figured
And so
that
that
might be
was
where you were going.
yes, yes. Creative tools are wonderful. I don't use gels a lot. I know on my Instagram this past week I did post a couple of images where I did use a gel. And the purpose of both of those is I was actually changing the color of my backdrop.
Right.
Because I wanted a backdrop that matched the wardrobe. I don't.
And it looked great.
Yeah, I don't love I know like the Savage papers, if you're a photographer, are great and wonderful. There's a lot of different colors. I'm not a huge fan of the papers.
See, that's exactly our yin and yang again. I love them.
Yeah,
I'm all about some paper.
I hate to hang them. I hate that they don't last.
Yeah.
I hate that, if you're using all those pretty creative colors, well, there's all these different colors.
Yeah, there's
so,
a million to buy.
Right,
Yeah.
there's a million to buy, and you got to have a place to store them and
Yep.
whatever. So, for me, I think being able to use gels when I want that pop of color that I don't have in a backdrop is a great way to use the
yeah.
gels. And so
Absolutely.
that's when I go for my gels.
So much more economical, honestly. I mean,
Well, it is.
good
It is.
Lord,
I'm
yeah. And in your
very
space,
practical.
I mean, you've done lots of classes. Hopefully these folks have seen what you did on the summit this week. Like, you can see that it's a small shooting space.
Right.
And, even before that, it was even smaller.
Right.
So you've got that, like, nailed down, that it is so much easier just to change it with a light
Right.
on a backdrop rather than having a million of them. So, yeah. And I have probably too many, but I also have the room to have it. And I've got the roller system so that they come down and it's easy up and down for me, not so much for yours. So, makes total sense why you would have the reservations about it, for sure.
So that's probably, there's a lot of different ways to use gels. And again, I love doing creative sessions, and sometimes being able to use a gel in a creative way just to add a little pop it's fun. They're definitely fun to play with.
Yeah, they are.
But I'm like
I was like a kid in a candy store the first time I figured it out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Craig Stidham, by the way.
what's the purpose? What are you what are you doing with this gel? But everybody did a great job. Bethany used the gels to actually help tell a story, and her image, which I thought was like amazing. The story that she was telling, and the gels, the way she kind of used them, it made sense.
Awesome.
I don't think she executed it as well as I'm sure she wishes that she had. But
Right.
again, that
Hindsight's
goes
always 20/20.
well. It also goes back to that time limit of you just
Yeah.
that we're put in this time limit,
And it seems to get shorter.
Yeah.
And shorter and shorter.
But I think if she had a little more time to really think through what she was doing and look and make a couple of adjustments, the story she was telling and the way she was using the gels to do it was just really smart.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think the way Jess used them was probably same thing that I would have done, was the backdrop and using as as accent lights to kind of recolor, reset your
Absolutely.
environment.
Yeah.
And her image was gorgeous, and again I love Leroy,
Yeah.
but he
Had to go home.
had to go home.
I guess somebody has to go home. That's the
which
sucky part.
Yeah. It's sad, and I've seen the girls post about this, that you want to win, but you don't want anybody else to lose.
Right. Yeah. Especially when you make friends. That stinks.
Yeah. Oh.
For
So
sure.
anyway,
What
and
you
he
chewing
found
on, buddy?
another big-
Another stick.
another big stick.
So cute.
So, being out here on this gorgeous day, I'm not in, like, I don't love shooting
Right.
outdoors.
Yeah. And I'm going, this is great.
But, yeah, it's so pretty today, and it's.
It makes you want to. Like, look at that right there.
I know. I know.
Gorgeous.
I'm looking,
Sorry, y'all can't see. We might show you in a little bit. But
I'm looking
pretty.
around, and I'm thinking, if we just.
maybe we could.
We had a model. We've got our.
We have beautiful models right here
Which
with us.
this one's, right up in the.
He's making sure you can tell he's a model.
Yeah.
A little puff
So
head.
we've got our models.
Oh, we might have to do it.
But yeah, I can feel some creative
Juices out here flowing just a little bit.
and some creative sessions in our very near future.
Yeah,
So
we got
that
lots
is,
to do.
Yeah, that's something on the docket is to plan some creative days. I've been trying to do that once a month, and then of course we hit fall,
Ugh.
and
Yeah, it's insane.
it's
Insane.
insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. I went from summer of it being crazy hot and everybody wanting to reschedule
Right.
to now everybody wants to shoot. So it's, oh my Lord, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy right now.
And I think because I've been thinking a lot about this week, is it is, if you are a small business owner, which we both are, and you have any amount of success, but you're a person of one, which means you're doing the job of about, 10 different
At least, yeah.
people. And,
At least.
I know a lot of people have this perception that being a photographer is,
Fun job.
it's fun and it's easy.
And it is.
All you have to do is
Click a button.
click a button.
Yeah.
And it's not that,
I mean, all a surgeon has to do
all.
is cut you too, right?
right.
I mean, that's kind of what
Oh.
we can equate it to a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into their job for sure.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than
And then you hit this busy season and you can't keep up because it's one person and you've only got so many hours in a day and you're working, dawn till dusk, 7 days
Yeah.
a week.
we never stop. We really don't stop. Even when we stop, we don't stop.
And then you're
You know?
also, I would say most small businesses that are the size of ours, you fall into this same rut of you're overwhelmed, you're busy, you need help.
But who and how and when?
Well,
and
but
what,
you don't, hiring help is an expense that
money and time.
you really can't afford,
Right.
but you can't afford
Not
to. But
Exactly.
then to try to find somebody that fits into your business that you can trust with all the things that you do, and it's kind of this vicious cycle.
Oh, totally. I've had several assistants over the years, and some of them have been younger, some have been older. Majority have been like teenagers that came out of high school that maybe were on my senior crew or something like that. And it's really hard to give them jobs knowing that the jobs you're giving them, you're not ever really worried about them like giving away some secrets or anything like that. It's the fact that you're training this person for something that they literally could do for a really long time.
Right.
But when they're that young, they're going to go to college and do the thing that they want to do, whatever that is. So you almost always feel like you're training somebody to leave you.
Exactly. Yes.
And then you got to do another and another. And so that has been the recurring
whether
thing
it's an
for me.
assistant, whether it's a
Retoucher? It could be anything.
retoucher, hair and makeup artist.
Oh gosh, I've been
you know,
through several.
I've been through several.
Yeah.
And they've all been wonderful, but then they get too busy
Yep.
for you,
Yeah.
or they
Which is
move
what
off.
they go
or-
to school for. So it
I know.
makes sense, but it is so hard when you get your rhythm down and then it's like, by the way, I'm a little too busy at the salon and, or whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, I've been dreading that conversation for, it's coming, So
So it's, this is our And even while we're pausing here, like we literally just, I know you had a session this morning.
Yeah.
I am actually here with my husband for his class reunion.
We are multitasking.
We're multitasking,
Constantly.
but even as we're sitting here, the thought that's just running rampant in my head is, oh my gosh, I've got work to do.
All the work.
I've got work to do. I'm
Yep.
behind. I've got this running list in my head of
Always.
things I need to be doing, which
Never
makes it
ends.
hard to just kind of stop and breathe and relax and do something other than
Yeah.
work.
It really takes me a while when we go on vacation or even just going camping for the weekend or something like that. It takes my brain a good 2 days to finally like settle in and be like, it's okay that I don't have internet, or it's okay that something kind of waits till Monday or whatever.
And then you're back home.
Right. Just in time for it to start right back over again.
Yeah.
So that is literally why we take, when we go on our vacations and stuff like that, we really try to have a minimum of 7 days, because I know 2 of it is going to be my brain finally
Trying to shut down.
just shutting off all of the businessy things, whatever that is. It's tough. It really is. And I never in a million years would have thought that it would be, because photography's a fun job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you think when you go in.
And
it is. But
I mean, yes, it is. I absolutely love what I do, but
the business side
you
of
and
it's
I are
hard.
both running businesses.
Right.
It's
not a hobby.
Yeah, it's not a hobby.
No.
And so it's difficult.
Yeah. There's a major difference.
It's difficult.
There's a major difference between a hobby and a business.
Yeah.
Some really big ones. I mean, we can get into that in a whole nother episode, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a lot.
That
It's
was
a
just
lot.
kind of on my mind this past week of just kind of in my head thinking, this is hard.
But we can do hard things, and we have been doing hard things for a long time, and we have a lot more years of hard things to come. So, but yeah, it's crazy. Oh, let's talk about just real fast your classes that you taught this week. Well, so you didn't. You did
It's
teach it this week,
right.
but we didn't record it this week.
Right.
But anyway, so tell me about the
Peak
summit,
Peak
yeah.
Senior Summit, and hopefully, some of you watching were able to take advantage of that. But that was something new, interesting, because Karen was the videographer.
We were both jumping into crazy things that we didn't know anything about.
It was crazy because it was new for both of us. I asked, Karen if she was willing to jump in and help, because I had to, and I was kind of asked to speak or teach a class last minute. And so I didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
But you knocked it out of the park.
And
Maybe that's the way we need to roll.
I watch it now and I'm like,
You're watching
okay.
it as you. You're not watching it as
But,
us. It's different.
But we jumped in, like, both feet did a full day of recording.
Yep.
I got up the next morning and started watching the clips and
As
called
I knew she would. I was waiting on this phone call because I knew it was happening.
called her back and said, I'm not feeling good about some of this, and I think we need to redo some of it. And so we spent a second
Another.
day
Yep.
recording, and then we spent a third day editing, and then I spent a fourth day on just
Refining.
final,
Yep.
edits. And so we learned a lot.
Yeah, we did.
But it was fun, and
Yeah,
again, I
it
think
was.
it's got both of us kind of not going in a different direction,
No.
but maybe adding
something.
to
Absolutely.
what we already do. But I got a lot of really good feedback
Yep. Good.
from the class.
Awesome.
So that was really good. And I would say the class that I taught was, I would put it on a very beginner level.
Oh yeah.
As far as it was about lighting and how to get different looks
I'd probably go
using one
intermediate.
strobe.
I'd probably go intermediate, because beginner to me
Beginner
would
to,
be like
yeah.
picking up a camera and learning settings of a camera, bringing that light in, that's another
I would
level
say,
up.
yeah,
So
I would
I'd probably
say
intermediate.
maybe beginner for somebody who's
been a
maybe it's a
photographer.
natural light photographer
Yeah,
who's been a
there you go.
photographer, but maybe has never used strobes, never
Yeah.
used artificial light.
Agreed.
So I think it was a good introduction into
Absolutely.
using, a strobe and maybe how to use it or why you should.
Right.
And
When
I
to,
say why
when
you
not to.
should. I think my point is, even if you are a natural light photographer, and I don't know what y'all are digging at, but you're getting dirty. Even if you are a natural light photographer, having at least one artificial light in as a tool
Absolutely.
and knowing how to use it is a game changer.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because I would never want to be in a situation where I had to stop a session early or cancel a session, reschedule because of lighting. Nor
Agreed.
would I ever want to show up for a session, maybe it was if it's somebody's home or venue or event or whatever, and literally like
It's like,
not
wait,
have
we can't do this.
not have light.
Yeah.
Not be able to to meet the need that I was hired for
Absolutely.
because of lighting. So, I would say even natural light photographers, having those tools and knowing how to use them, to me, it's a game changer, and
100%.
and I personally, I think it even, if you are a professional,
Yeah, you should know.
it
It's just like
puts you at a
having the
different level.
rules and being able to break them because you know the rules. Same thing for this. Like when I was a natural light photographer, I mean, I can speak to this because I was one, right? So I started out just natural light and nothing, no other type of light besides just the sun.
Right.
Maybe a reflector every once in a while, but honestly, that was even aggravating because I had to have somebody to hold it or I had to
Yeah.
look crazy trying to do it. And so, wow, in 2015-ish, 2014, 2015, something like that, is when I started learning a lot more about it and was able to throw that into the arsenal. And now, I mean, before I said I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to schlep all that stuff around. Now, it's very rare to find me without it.
Naked without it.
Yeah, it is a game changer, and you can do anything you want to do, within reason, of course. But I can shoot in full sun and not have raccoon eyes. I can be the light in the dark if I'm downtown and in the dark and have cute little lights in the background or whatever. I'm not intimidated anymore.
Right.
Where before I would just be like, oh gosh, let's just see what happens, And so I'm not like that anymore. So it's nice to have that.
It's another tool, whether you use it creatively or whether you use it because you need light.
You need it. Yeah,
You need
exactly.
it. I absolutely love strobes. I love teaching the class, and
Well, you did a great
was
job at
just-
it. You did.
well, thank you, and you did a great job as well.
Well,
So we make a good team.
I pushed that darn button pretty good, didn't you
Oh.
think? Start.
So,
Stop.
yeah.
I can do that.
No, but it was fun. It went well. I was able to jump into a lot of the other classes that were offered. It was a full week of education that was free.
free.
It was free.
Yeah, crazy.
And so I learned some things last week. I picked up several really
awesome.
really good nuggets
Good deal.
that I was thrilled to learn. And
That's great because for folks that have been in this for a while, as we have, I mean, I've been taking money for shoots, we'll say, since 2009. So sometimes when we go to these conventions and workshops and things like that, it's very much beginner, or it's something we've already done and just didn't realize when we signed up that that's what it would be, or whatever. So there's very few things that we go to now that we're going to get a whole lot out of. Nuggets, are
I'm always
huge
looking,
at this
yeah,
point.
always
know?
looking for those nuggets, and I hope I never stop learning. I don't know everything
Oh gosh,
there
no.
is to know. Far from it.
Same.
Um,
And that's why it's really hard for us to find those things. It's because there's not a lot of, we'll say, advanced training maybe. There's some,
yeah,
but not as much advanced.
yeah. Most of it
I
is
don't know why.
more on a,
Beginner to intermediate.
beginner level. But anyway, so that was fun as well as get to listen in on a couple of classes and learning, a couple of new little
New stuff.
tricks. And
That's awesome.
I'll have to share it with
Yeah,
you.
share
So we're gonna wrap it up. I know we've both got other directions to go.
Yeah.
And it is chilly.
Getting a little chilly. Yeah, I went from hey to okay.
But we'll be back. Monday night is
The last
again,
one.
is the finale.
We get
so
to see who wins.
we'll be back
So
next
excited.
week to kind of wrap that up. But then again, we've got some things in the works that we're going to be planning, and
Yeah, it's exciting.
so hopefully we'll
Stick around.
Yeah.
If
we'll
you
catch
like us.
everybody. Yeah.
If you don't, why are you here? All right, girl. Hey,
So we
Cash
will,
and Vader, y'all come say bye. Want to?
They are.
They said no.
They are hyper focused on.
Yep. Well,
on
there's
picnickers
lots of
over here.
little kids that are loving them today, and so I
They-
think they are ready for the next.
They have
person
been
to walk by
loved
to
on
pet.
very well. I think they're going to sleep hard on the way home.
I bet they will.
Like
Oh,
little kids.
man.
So
All right.
we will.
Guess we're wrapping up, y'all.
We will see you next week.
Yep. All right.
So,
Bye,
yeah.
y'all.